A common Japanese man is playing a video game named the Otome Game, given to him by his little sister in a small dark apartment. As the guy progresses through the game, he starts getting frustrated with random things in both real life and within the game. Even though he was only feeling terrible while playing, the guy continued to play without keeping a watch of time, until he had completed 100% of it, and our guy realizes that he had finally reached the point from where the original game had started. While he was on his adventure to find the Luxian, Leon happened to come across a completely new floating island, and his achievement brought the news about him reaching the rank of Baron, making it his fate to marry someone of at least Zola's rank now. Leon starts his journey at the academy, where he comes across a character from the game named Prince Julius and his minions. Leon also comes across the antagonist of the story named Angelica Redgrave. Our guy is walking around as a sleepyhead in the academy when he starts to notice some weird stuff in the sequence. Things had been happening as instead of the story's protagonist Olivia, Prince Julius had been slapped by a random girl named Marie. Later on, after having a word with Luxian about some stuff in the academy, Leon is sitting around his friends where the group is talking about whether anyone had found some girls who were not rich in the academy. The romance sequence of the original story starts to pick up pace as Leon witnesses Prince Julius having an argument with Angelica, who was actually his fiancée, after he invited Marie to a tea party. Marie was acting unusually innocent around the prince, and their interaction irritated Angelica a lot. Afterwards, Leon attends a class for men only, where he is basically told to hold a tea party to please the rich ladies. Leon kind of gets impressed with this teacher, and later arranges a party of his own where he awaits the girl he had invited. The girl turned out to have brought her own friends as well, and those ugly girls basically ate all the cake and sweets before they left, still complaining. After the messed up party plan, Leon comes across the main heroine of the story as she was being picked on by other girls. Leon reluctantly invites Olivia to his room and has a conversation while serving her tea and sweets. Olivia reveals how she is quite bad at socializing and didn't have much clue about the rules that the academy has. Leon kind of reassures her about staying around, and that marks their tentative friendship. At least for Olivia, I'm certain about that part. Leon takes the heroine to his sister Jenna to get some help for socializing, where she remarks how Olivia should hold a tea party for Angelica. Olivia does exactly that and makes Leon pay for the expensive items before inviting Angelica. Things go well between the two girls as they get decently close while talking about just how impressive Leon's progress had been as he made it to the level of a baron all by himself. Sometime later, the students get assigned to the small-scale dungeon where they had to fight against not the largest threats. After having some time in, Leon and Olivia realize they have been basically used as tools by other rich kids. As our pair is planning to head on their journey regardless, they are interrupted by an argument between Angelica and Julius regarding Marie once again. The sneaky little Marie somehow manages to play her cards so well that the prince yet again takes her alongside with him after telling Angelica to know her place. After the prince leaves with his minions, Leon also proceeds on the quest where he seems not to be much interested, until they come across the main room where most of the monsters reside. Leon manages to defeat most of the monsters with only a single scratch when the prince arrives with his guys and Marie to take out the last monster and get all the credit as usual. Marie makes full use of the movement yet again and heals a wound that the prince had to make him throw Angelica away in front of everyone. Olivia also heals Leon with her magic, remarking that this was the reason she had initially gotten accepted into the academy, while Leon witnesses Marie walking with the prince having a devious look on her face. As the story was developing due to the involvement of Marie, things started to get worse for Angelica, as a recent event of Marie's stuff being burned had gotten blamed on her, and the prince showed no interest in trusting her words, much to Angelica's dismay. While Angelica was caught up in her romantic problems, Leon was in a pinch as all the nice girls he could find at the academy had already been either engaged or just not interested in our boys. Our guy comes across the news of the recent event involving Angelica that made him remark how the pacing is different than it should be according to his memories of the game. Later on, Leon has a conversation with Olivia in the library about the matter with Marie, and things start to connect as some events lead Leon to guess how Marie is most probably already aware of the main story that the game is supposed to follow. Marie turns out to be a reincarnation as well, just like Leon, later on when she manages to secure a personal servant for herself from the rich guys who had been following her with some sneaky tricks. Angelica's emotional state starts to get affected quite badly, as Marie's manipulation had been making the prince drift away further and further from her. The next day, Leon is woken up by his sister Jenna, who tells the guy to try and get close to the prince and his boys, since the prince will soon be quite the influential personality, and the close relationship can literally set Leon up for life. Leon seems not to be interested in getting involved with the prince, as Jenna leaves and decides to get Luxian to investigate Marie's background, as Leon's suspicion about Marie being a reincarnation had grown a lot recently. Leon attends a party later on where he ends up getting in some sort of trouble with his friends, as they just were on the bad side of some noble girls. Marie was keeping her plan going by sticking with Julius and the rest of the minions, who also had fallen for him. Marie's closeness finally pushed Angelica to the limit, and having had enough of the scheming girl, she throws her glove to challenge Marie to a duel. Angelica just ends up making the situation worse for her, as all 5 of the guys, including the prince, volunteered to fight for Marie as they loved her, while no one even dared to go against the prince and fight for Angelica. After running out of options, Angelica was looking to be out of hope when our protagonist steps up to fight as her champion. He challenges all 5 of the other guys into fighting them one by one, as both parties set up their demands for the other to fulfill if they win. Leon's attitude didn't fit right with either the rich dudes or the audience, as they targeted his room as some form of backlash later. The odds being completely against Leon make things interesting for him, as he is confident enough in his ability to beat the nobles that he even bets a small amount of fortune on himself as well. Despite Angelica telling him to withdraw from the duel and not throw his life away, Leon decides to still fight as he hates the prince a lot, and he just wants to leave the academy anyway, since he is not really able to find himself a wife here. The date of the fight arrives quite soon, and Luxian prepares a custom suit for Leon to fight in. The prince and his minions are waiting in their giant robots that are commonly known as armors in-game, when Leon becomes the laughingstock of the audience, as his armor arranged by Luxian is nowhere near as fancy and modern as the other teams. Despite the crowd taking Leon's armor as a joke, he still plans to use it in the match regardless. Angelica had realized that this armor, which is later named Arrogance, is actually sort of a relic made by the old humans. The match starts with the first opponent, Lancer Brad, and Leon immediately starts going on about how he will be winning this round. Our guy accidentally pulls out a shovel that he had been using before the match, and decides to stick with it anyways. The match begins with Leon showcasing some impeccable dodging skills before he knocks the narcissistic Brad out in a single blow. The audience is left shocked, as they all had bet on the prince and his boys. Greg arrives next to fight with a spear, but after making fun of the bully, Leon pins his armor down since it had been repaired recently and easily tears off parts of the armor, leaving it unusable. Greg still tries to keep fighting, but the referee just calls out his absurdity and declares Leon to be the winner. Silence spreads through the whole crowd as pressure builds up on the prince's team. After realizing that Leon is quite strong, Julius sends in the young swordmaster Chris to fight. Chris had been planning to fight up close, but since Leon never really wanted to fight the round with sportsmanship, he basically bullies Chris with some long-range laser beams before absolutely demolishing his ego in front of his beloved Marie. The match takes a little break, and since things weren't fitting right with Jenna, she makes a move for the prince's side, planting explosive on Leon's arrogance. Luxian informs Leon about the explosive, but the guy doesn't really care about that all too much, as he is confident in the defense that Arrogance has. The duel resumes as Jilk pulls up as the next contender. The guy uses his planted explosives on the first opportunity he gets, but watching the plan fail makes Jenna quite angry at her foolish brother, while Jilk sees the trouble awaiting him. This fight goes just as expected as well, and Leon dominates another one of the minions that put Marie under some extra pressure, as she sees her plans of dominating the whole story of the video game according to herself start to get disrupted. Marie's personal assistant pisses her off even more, but Julius reassures her that he would win, as his suit is the most advanced and highly equipped one that has ever been made. Julius steps into the ring, declaring the respect he holds for Leon, and Leon asks him a question about Olivia before they begin the final match. Julius responds as if he has no clue about meeting Olivia, and that makes Leon concerned, as Julius meeting Olivia was the first thing that was supposed to happen at the start of the game. The final duel begins, and as the two fight, Leon starts to mock Julius as he is letting Marie have relations with the other love interests. Julius still sticks to his words and claims that he wants to be with Marie since she loves him for who he is, and Angelica has never really tried to understand him. Julius's words harm Angelica's feelings, and Julius starts to call Leon arrogant, as he is just looking down on his opponents because he managed to secure a piece of powerful armor. These words tick Leon off, who is already not right in the head, and he starts to accept the fact that he is arrogant, while ranting about the sort of problems he has been going through his life due to Zola and the noble girls in the academy. After having a final question with Julius, where he still chooses Marie over Angelica, Leon reveals the classic "I was holding back all along" card from most animes, and just completely blows the prince's armor, winning the duel fair and square. With the crowd and Marie infuriated, Leon walks away to have a word with Angelica. He reassures Angelica that the prince is not harmed, and reveals to Olivia how he doesn't really care about the opinions of the people at the academy, as he will be leaving regardless. Sometime later, when the prince gains consciousness again, Angelica meets up with him, and he breaks their engagement officially, remarking that Marie is the one for him, as she knows him to the roots. Angelica returns from the room with a heavy heart, while Leon is in a meeting with Angelica's father. He strikes a deal where he will leave the academy, but the Redgrave family provides security for him, while taking away his status as the Baron as well. Angelica's father tells Leon to take his daughter with him as well, as the prince has already broken off the engagement, that hints at the arrival of peace in Leon's life. Olivia accompanies the other two on their way to Leon's private island, where Angelica remarks how she feels bad for not thanking Leon before heading to Julius like an idiot. Back at the Bartford residence, Zola is making quite the ruckus, as she is against the idea of Leon coming back, but Angelica's presence makes the old hag shut up real quick, as Leon gives off an evil smirk in the background. Marie gets troubled as her easy life seems to be going further away from her, while Leon gets assigned to the rank of the 6th noble, which makes him attend the academy again. Leon Fu Bartford returns to the academy to continue his journey as a mop in the Otome game, but this time he is happy as he has 2 beautiful girls alongside him who he can actually refer to as his friends.